Well, on the back of that discussion about what exactly is happening in the world of revenue collection, we now want to jump to an area that has a lot of potential for tax and indeed revenue collection. And this, of course, is the area of innovation startups. And, well, the fact that come next week, we will have a major gathering, indeed next month, we will have a major gathering in Nairobi. And this, of course, is the Nairobi Innovation Week. This is an event that has been put together by the University of Nairobi and other stakeholders and brings together people from right across the world and, well, an entire ecosystem that is meant to assist the youth get into, among other things, technology and small business. And with me, well, in studio to discuss this and a whole lot of other things around the field of technology and business, I have with me Tony Omasa. He is from the faculty of the University of Nairobi. He's sitting to my close left. And Ramses Malati, Deputy Head of Mission at the, well, Embassy of Finland. Karibuni sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah. So I'll start with you, Tony. The fact that the University of Nairobi has once again put together this huge event that has become the go-to place for startups in the country, for people who want to invest in technology and in startups, and for youth who want to put their ideas from paper and indeed make them reality. Talk to us about the history of this event and what it has become this far.
Okay. Thanks very much for having us. We're glad to be here. Just to give you a clue a little bit about the event, we started off with a concept note somewhere in 2014. And in 2015, we held the first one in August, and this will be the fourth that we're actually running. And it's grown in terms of number and diversity and its penetration to the ecosystem. Initially, we didn't start off with a startups agenda. We were largely trying to build networks on people interested in innovation, thinking through the policy issues, the capacity that people need, the networks that people need, an enabling environment, and so on and so forth. But the last 2 years, we've picked up the agenda of startups, and it's really become huge. We've got over 30 different innovation and incubation hubs and accelerators collaborating with us. And we have ended up with over 300 applications of startups, which we've narrowed down to about 100, who will all be pitching at the Nairobi Innovation Week. And the goal is that we'll climax it with the 15 most promising startups pitching on the Friday, the 9th of March. We have different kinds of stakeholders. We're working with over 50 different partners as we speak. Development agencies, government, private sector, academia, civil society, media. Everybody seems to be finding their position in there. Yes. We've got an array of over 100 exhibitions that will be at the grounds, at the university grounds. We have over 55 side events that will be happening in different places, in hotels, at the university towers, and so on and so forth. So by and large, we feel we've got something for everybody, and people just pick like a shopping cart and pick what they will be interested in.
Okay. Ramses, to bring you in at this juncture, as Tony was saying, everyone seems to have found their place as a stakeholder. So what is your place in all this?
Well, as Finland, we have been a strategic partner with the Nairobi Innovation Week now for a couple of years. It is a strong partnership and collaboration that we share. I feel that coming from a country which is leading on innovations, globally known to have its technological solutions and a vibrant startup scene, we feel there is the similar kind of potential in this country. And the way we see as Nairobi Innovation Week, putting things into right places and the platform for also us to collaborate and share, because it's also about sharing and learning.
Yes.
I have to say that I've been amazed during my 2.5 years in town, the kind of vibrant private sector you have, and especially the startup scene, which is booming, I have to say.
Tony, to bring you back in,
Yep.
A few years ago, we interviewed a young lady from Strathmore University who'd come up with this idea that would create this application that was supposed to revolutionize inventory management in various companies. And 3-4 years later, she got bought out by this global behemoth, and today is literally an African success story. So this seems now to be a pipeline, the sort of thing that if you have an idea and that you can put it together and make something of it, you will eventually achieve some sort of success through making a difference in the marketplace. Are we seeing a lot of these people coming through?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at 5 years ago, probably not as much, but I would say the last 2 years, we've gotten a number of them starting to emerge. I've personal experiences of students who are first-class students, and they come up with ideas, and they choose not to go and seek jobs, and instead build the startups. You know, for some time, people used to think that, oh, going to do the business is because you didn't get a job, all right? Now, I think it's flipping, and it's the other way around, that tough student actually believes, I have what it takes. And then there are many ways of growing and spanning out. There are those who choose to continue to build that business and make a career out of it. There are those who get bought off by other companies. There are those who sell out and never get involved in that business. And we've got a number that you can actually talk about, which have received investment from local investors and outside, you know, non-Kenyan investment. And there are those who have been bought off. And so we do have some success stories. And the powerful thing about that is, you know, when people don't have examples to relate with, they kind of don't believe that it can happen. I remember when I was in school, we used to study a lot about Microsoft and Google, not about M-Pesa.
Yes.
But the day we started talking about M-Pesa, then I can see like energy goes up.
Yes.
People believe that, yes, I can touch and feel it.
Ramesses, for a lot of startups in the past, you achieved some measure of success. Literally, there seemed to be a glass ceiling because you are in Kenya, you weren't connected to the global marketplace. But today with stakeholders such as yourselves, government, quasi-government, global corporations and that sort of thing, the sky literally becomes the limit. Are you seeing a way for Kenyans to mainstream some of these ideas into the global marketplace?
Definitely. I think one of the challenges that we still face is the fact that like private sector and, for example, research and the youth are kind of separated. And I feel like we've learned a lot in Finland how to work. I'm not saying it's an ideal example, but I can share that through hard research and development in a cooperation with the private sector is the one that can really accelerate those young smart talents that you have around.
Tony, I want to come to you for your closing comments. The fact that, as he says, there seems to be a disconnect between the education and the practice and the commercialization. Are we in a place today where we can say that the skills that people are rather teaching themselves, learning in schools, can then become the ideas that can then be commercialized in a way that enables people start to aspire to bigger things than just becoming employees?
Yeah, I mean, it's a journey to get there, to be able to see and then be able to do just what you described.
Yeah.
The education system has makes a contribution to that as part of that process. You know, if you typically go and ask a student in a university and say, do you understand a lot about IP? On average, probably you wouldn't get a lot of feedback. That tells you the starting point where we need to fix. And the other bit I find very valuable that we need to aggressively be thinking about is the establishment of commercialization offices in universities. Because you see, students and faculty sometimes do research, they generate IP, but they struggle to manage the protection of that IP and the exploitation of that IP.
And because they're not experts.
Exactly. So there has to be legal issues, there has to be intellectual property experts, and so on and so forth to intervene. And also business development, because not everyone who is able to come up with a brilliant idea is able to make a business out of it. So sometimes they need that complementary skills. So one of the things that has gradually developed over the last few years I'm seeing in university is nurturing multidisciplinarity in looking at challenges so that they're more comprehensive. Second is being problem-based so that whatever solution you make is sustainable because it's informed by a genuine problem. The other bit I'm also seeing that is growing is a stronger linkage between private sector and academia in generating challenges which come to university, being solved and being part of the solution in society. But look, it's also part of examples. You know, when you don't see many examples, like you think it can't happen. But as examples are emerging, we're starting to see that trend take shape.
Ramesses, finally, when Google initially started, Larry Page and his partner, they literally discovered at some point that they have to bring in this person who will become a CEO and hold all these bits and pieces together. From where you sit and with maybe the advantage of best practice historically in doing this sort of thing, are you as a stakeholder able to bring this experience to the table and then enable these young people and the people who are buying into these companies play a complementary role?
Well, that is definitely the objective that we have in hand. And the fact that this useful platform that we have available is the one that we can join hands.
Yeah.
And of course, at the end of the day, you need to have success.
Yes.
And that is something everyone shares. And I feel that the way we have learned it's been a long ride.
Yes.
Like back in the days, we were in the state of developing country, but through hard work and especially reaching out to that kind of investment potential is the answer. So I'm pretty optimistic that in the weeks to come, and definitely in the months and years to come, we'll have more and more collaboration also from Finland.
Okay. Indeed, thank you very much.